Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Halloween coming up. It's August, but we're getting ready already.
Yep, we are getting ready.
And I see that we're Logie Pinogi today.
Yep.
All right. DVCF. We're calling this podcast Outside the Box because we are outside the gym. Looks like Amy's getting logged in here. We do have a few updates. First off, Hot Shots. An update. We're planning to meet at the gym at 8 a.m. on next Saturday, and then we will leave from there. If you would like to caravan, meet us there, and we'll all go together. That should give us enough time to get up there. Little hat back there. Yeah, it should give us enough time to get up there, and with enough time to relax. And if we hit traffic, we'll still be good. So that's that. Next one is Labor Day, September 4th. There will be a modified schedule, so keep an eye out for that. And then the next one is we've got some new people starting on ramp. I think, Logan, I think you had said there were 4 coming?
Potentially 4. We have 3 for sure right now. 1 maybe.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So, sorry, what was that?
I was just saying, yep, they're one of them's Jared. Sorry, there was a hair on the I wasn't blowing you, I was blowing Jared a kiss. Jared, sweet dude, you guys will meet him. Who else do we have? We have Diana, who's in session 2, and then Marlisa. It's Marlisa. Yeah, Marlisa is coming in on next week on Monday. So cool. It's good to have new people in there.
Yep. And we were all new at one point, and if you were like me, it made it a lot easier if people were nice and welcoming. And so encourage everyone to say hi, introduce themselves, and welcome all the new folks. So without further ado, unless Logan or Alea, unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about, we can bring in our member of the month, Amy.
Bring her in.
All right, here we go. Ready? Drum roll. Hey.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Amy. How's it going?
It's going great.
Awesome. Can you hear us and everything? Can you see us?
Yep.
Okay, cool. We can hear you nice
Awesome.
and clear. So, Logan, I guess we'll start with you. Please let us know what amazing attributes Amy showed at the gym that made you want to choose her for member of the month for August.
Yeah, first of all, let me say I'm really excited that I actually kept my standing meeting with one of the Vander Lindens today, because I totally failed earlier with Taylor. Yeah, so I talked to her about that, but we have rescheduled. So no, so first off, I want to say one of my, like I was telling other members of the gym this, one of my toxic traits, or I would say my toxic trait is, have you guys seen those memes? Like my toxic trait? Okay, so my toxic trait is if anybody, including Amy, says, and this is my fault, this is on me, says, oh, so-and-so like is gonna meet you on Thursday morning, I'm like, oh, okay, so that's a maybe. And then if there's not a scheduled time, if there's not like a 9 a.m. or like an 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. or whatever, I'm like, okay, so it's kind of up in the air still. And everybody else is like, no, I told you, like, it's definitely happening. And I don't put it in my calendar. So I'm like, I think my toxic trait is like, I need to have stuff like on the hour or whatever, and then I will put it in my calendar. So that's on me. I need to get better at that. Anyways, so we were thinking about it, and I was like, man, like Alea, actually, you were the one who was like, Amy would be a really good one just because she's been around so long. Like, I mean, we've been a part of previously the Hammer family for, were you at Hammer before us?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm September of 2013. I should be way better at pull-ups by now.
She's way before us.
Yeah, I just got the Wodify printout of like all of my old WODs, and I think they started in 2015. So,
Oh yeah, I saw your post about that. Yeah.
dude, it's awesome. It's cool to look back on all that stuff. But yeah, so Alea was like, man, what about Amy? I was like, yeah, Amy's a good one. She's really encouraging, very loud at that, and that's great. And I don't. Which Amy are we getting right now? Are we gonna get like CrossFit Amy, or are we gonna get like professional Amy?
No, look at
That'll probably depend on the questions you ask me.
this is like
You'll get real. It'll be real either way.
Okay, real Amy. I like that.
I know Steven's like, you're not going to change into workout clothes. I'm like, it's nighttime. Like, why would I go change into workout clothes? I'm not going to work out.
No, we're in our staying in clothes. We call them staying in clothes. No, yeah. So, but I think that honestly, like, although there's very few people that come to the 8 a.m. class right now, the people that do come know that if Amy's going to be in that class, that she's going to cheer them on and until the very end, and she's not going to start cleaning up her stuff until anybody's done. All the stuff we kind of talked about on the last one, where I was like, man, I need to get better at not starting to clean up before people are done, just because I could be sitting there helping them get through the rest of their workout. So that's why.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Amy, for being so encouraging and so exemplary in that area. I know that we had talked about just how we felt like we were kind of being disrespectful or like just self-centered when we're like busy cleaning up while people are still working out.
Yeah.
And so I think that's great. So we're going to get into some questions here. I think we'll start with some basic ones and then we'll get into some fun ones. So we want to learn all about you. So tell us where you grew up, where you went to school, what you studied, and how you met your husband.
Oh gosh, that story could take all night. It's fun. So I was born in Tucson, but then lived in Maryland till age 12, and then mostly an Arizona girl. So back to Tucson, high school down there, U of A, then off to Boston for a brief stint and for grad school, and then back to Phoenix. So mostly an Arizona girl my whole life.
And what did you study in school?
I have my degree in physical therapy.
Okay.
Yeah. So undergrad was exercise sciences, and then physical therapy school. And I met Steven in Southern California on spring break with two of my girlfriends. Yeah. My junior year of college at the Cowboy Boogie.
Hey.
Yeah. So
wait,
what is the Cowboy Boogie?
It was a country bar in Anaheim. It used to be. Yeah, it was right there. It's no longer.
Yeah.
They had multiple dance floors, and I think pizza at midnight was a thing, and it was an awesome place.
How did that happen? Like I want more details.
Oh my God.
Was he just cutting the rug? Was he like tearing it up, or was he anyway?
So my two best friends and I actually all three had fake IDs. And we were 20. Yeah, we were 20. And how we even got to Cowboy Boogie is quite a story. But Steven was hanging out with some buddies from, I think it was actually high school buddies that had come down, and he hadn't seen in a long time. And Mac Hill and I were doing a lap, and we lapped past his table, and some comments were made, and then later just some games, and later a head nod, and he was eating pizza, and then next thing I know, he had put his hand on my waist and was walking me out on the dance floor.
Whoa.
So it was pretty smooth.
Nice.
It was pretty smooth. So,
I remember Cowboy Boogie. My mom would take me there when I was a kid.
Did you literally just put my story and then say your mom?
My mom would take me to Cowboy Boogie. Yes, I would. I said that.
You didn't mean that.
I didn't mean that you're my mom. I didn't say that you're my mom. But you were 20.
Been old enough.
You were 20 at the time.
Yes, I was.
How old was Steve at the time?
24.
Okay. So I like that. Some comments were made, and now here we are, like 20 years later,
Yep.
kids and all that.
Yeah.
Wow. Fun.
I saw a picture of. Sorry, I'm looking it up. For later purposes. Okay, don't kill me, Amy, because we see each other like every day. I was Facebook stalking your photos because I couldn't remember Trevor's name. For the life of me, it was killing me. I was on the stair climber for 30 minutes today, and I was like, name. And I was like, it's Taylor, and it's another T, and I was like, it's not Trent, it's what is the name? And so I went on your Facebook and I started looking because I was like, she has to have a photo of Trevor somewhere, and she's saying like, oh, Trevor is going into the so-and-so grade or whatever. And I didn't, it was somebody else actually commenting on one of your photos. But I came across a photo, and I have to find it, of you and Steven, and it was amazing. I gotta
It's
find
the one from it's Halloween, and we were headed to the Garth concert. Is he in his flag shirt?
No, I think this was an early picture of you guys.
Please don't be the really bad haircut Easter picture.
It might
It totally
be.
is, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Oh my God. That is
Maggie,
the worst.
You can delete
That's
This is
literally
amazing.
the worst picture of us on the internet. Yeah.
That is so
Oh,
amazing.
dude.
I love it.
Logan,
I love that picture.
you are so mean.
Wow.
That
All right.
That looks exactly
Actually,
like
you look like Twiggy.
Taylor. What's Twiggy?
Twiggy's like one of the most famous, iconic models ever.
I don't know who Twiggy is. I don't know who models are.
People know who Twiggy is.
Dude, Steve looks almost the same.
Yeah, his hair's shorter.
All right. I have more questions here.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
I was like, wait a minute, what?
No, these are always fun because I feel like we go in these random places and it's really fun. It's always good to like learn more about everyone and their history and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, physical therapy is what you studied. What motivated you to go that direction?
My sophomore year of high school, I broke my hand in volleyball, and I actually went to hand therapy, and that was very interesting. And I was kind of interested in that, but I liked a lot more body parts than just hands. And so physical therapy gives you a lot more options than occupational therapy, which is sort of the hand therapy direction. And so I went with physical therapy. I've always been interested in fitness and nutrition and the sciences, and I'm super anatomy geek, so I love all that stuff.
That's cool. So hand injury playing volleyball. Did you play volleyball all through like high school? Did you play?
Not college, just high school, but yeah.
Okay. How, I guess we're fast forwarding. How did you learn about CrossFit, and like how did that start?
So actually through Steven. So he's a firefighter. And so CrossFit kind of at some of its origins was big for cops, firefighters, military. We have all our hero wads and everything. And he actually at one time, they were trying to build a fitness thing within their department. And he and some guys went and got their level 1 certs and some training. Gosh, this is a long time ago. And so I was like, what? And as a PT, I'm like, that's stupid. That's not safe. That's all the things, right? So ironic. Here I am 10 years later. And I've had colleagues be like, Amy, come on. Like, how can you back something that is like whatever they think, right? And so I wasn't interested, but I've always preferred weights to cardio. I've always liked strength and fitness training. In some of we have to take continuing ed all the time. And I had done like 3D functional training, Gary Gray stuff. And yeah, so I always liked all that stuff. But yeah, so it was through Steven that I first learned about it.
What were you?
Sorry. Were you already doing what you do? Like, so what, talk about your profession now, and were you already doing what you're doing now when you started, or did that come after?
No. So when I first graduated, I worked in pediatrics actually, and with kids. And then I was doing some, kind of outpatient ortho, just regular necks, shoulders, knees, hips, backs. Well, actually before that, I had worked at a chiropractic office, and I was doing a bunch of strength training with another one of his employees. And, basically they'd sort of get adjusted, and then I would come do all the strengthening with the thought process that they would get more fit and strengthen in that better alignment and all. I don't know who just typed that, but whatever.
That was Steven, and I think that was for the picture earlier. Sorry.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, babe, we're gonna have to plot a revenge.
I'll do some burpees for that.
No, burpees are not enough revenge for that picture. But so then I did outpatient ortho and then home health and another fitness center actually. But right now, I got into my fascial release work in 2009, and I'm currently more in pelvic health. So I still do a lot of fascial visceral stuff, but I work with men and women, and primarily women, but a lot of pelvic health, pregnancy, postpartum. We can dive into that topic, but like not wanting people to leak pee with their double unders and their box jumps and all of that. And very disturbing when I forget who the first athlete that it kind of happened in a very public forum and then suddenly went from being not talked about, which isn't good, to this like badge of honor. If you're really working out hard enough and you've had kids, you'd probably pee. And that is some crazy bullshit. So I don't want women suffering.
There's Amy. There's Amy. That's the Amy that I was.
I think we got
I don't want
professional
women
and
suffering
CrossFit.
like leaking pee and holding back in their workouts and having painful sex and bad sex and all the things. Like, it's not good. So that's my specialty now.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Great. And do you want to unshamefully plug your stuff?
Sure. I own Moment of Truth Physical Therapy and Healing Space. We have physical therapy. We have yoga, massage. We've just had a health coach. She's in the nutrition and wellness space. Join the space. We also have a naturopath there. So yeah, we've got a lot of great stuff going on over there.
One more time.
Which part?
Say the name again.
Oh, Moment of Truth Physical Therapy. And we are very close to DV CrossFit. We're just on the other side of Bell, just on Kelton Lane.
Yeah, that's great. When we were looking for a space for DV, we actually drove by your space, and I was like, I think this is where Amy works. And then we drove around to the front, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I think you guys might have been getting work done, or maybe it was the place next to yours. I don't remember.
Next door was, yeah. So like when you drive down Kelton, on the back of the building, you'll see there's like big vinyl that says yoga. That's our space.
Yep.
That's awesome.
But it's not just exclusively for women who have had children.
Absolutely not.
A huge example of it happening in like a professional CrossFit space is everybody's like, you know, girl next door hero in CrossFit, Haley Adams, has had very public instances where she has peed on the competition floor.
Yep.
And like, that's not normal. It shouldn't be normal, and it can be avoided. So like, don't feel like you have to be a mom.
For sure. I'm so glad you brought that up, Alea, because I wish more athletes. So what's crazy, I've had this conversation twice with clients already this week. What's so crazy is that like, if any profession specializes in anatomy, it's probably surgeons, doctors, and us, fitness professionals, massage potentially, but literally graduate level school, doctorate programs, they do not discuss pelvic floor anatomy. I spent 10 credit hours in anatomy, more if you count functional anatomy, learning the insertion and origin and action and nerve supply and blood supply of every muscle. And not so much did they even mention, as we casually went from torso to legs, hey, there's 3 layers of pelvic floor muscle in women and 2 in men if you want to learn more about that. Not so much as a casual mention. And so it wasn't until much later and much more advanced courses in my continuing education in that. And so, yeah, our improvements in hip range of motion and squat and PRs, Jocelyn's a great example of that. When I was working with her, she did a great video. It was frustrating because anyway, her snatch was amazing, which you can only say in a few instances and not always in my profession. But she like just range of motion and strength and her ability to activate her core and pelvic floor together. Like you hear that phrase all the time now, core and pelvic floor and whatever, but it's has massively amazing improvements and consequences for the better that I wish a lot more female athletes and male athletes for that matter. You guys just have a smaller avenue of entry, but there are still very many improvements to be made.
Yeah.
I want to jump in here. So this is stuff that guys, at least my experience, don't talk about.
Bingo.
Especially younger, like as you're growing up. My wife does CrossFit, and we have 2 kids, so she's gone through 2 natural births, and it was very eye-opening for me, kind of seeing how it's amazing, like that a woman's body can grow another human and push it out and then restore to like its pre-birth condition. It's like it's insane. It's really just amazing. But like the impact that it has on the body afterwards is just like eye-opening for me. Something that no one in my life talked about or like informed me of. And then in the CrossFit space, things like double unders or other types of movements cause issues. And so a lot of learning there, but also I did a lot of photography in the powerlifting space, and that was eye-opening as well, because there was so much like bodily fluids being like just flying around in that space that I wasn't prepared for.
That's normalized.
Yeah, well, like someone would do a deadlift and then just like explosive vomit would like come out. Well, we always talk about vomit on these podcasts.
Why does vomit end up on the show?
That was you,
So,
Adam.
that was me. Sorry. But also, just like women doing deadlift, a lot of them would do like a sumo deadlift with a wide stance, and just on certain lifts, just like they would pee all over the place. And I always thought it was kind of gross, because the people, like the loaders, the guys that would like load the weights onto the bar, they would just kind of like spray stuff on it and then move on. I'm like, there's literally like a gallon of urine.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, go ahead.
Can I say a couple things?
Yeah.
One, so I helped out. I was just like, I don't know, volunteer staff at the Unbroken Strength Games or whatever that Julia and the team put on from her gym. And she said that they would need people to like clean that up. They're like, I was like, what position? Like, what do you need me to do? And she's like, well, we'll need people to do A, B, and C. We'll also need people to clean up like piss on the floor. And I was like, are you kidding me? And she was like, no, I'm serious. Like, people are gonna like bleed out of their noses and like just like stuff like that. And I was kind of like, I don't want to be the person cleaning that up. Anyways, so that was just kind of interesting to me. That was eye-opening to me.
Well, and this is a great time to throw in too. I mean, each person and athlete has to make choices for themselves, right? But I think one thing that's unfortunate is since the beginning of time, like girls are just trying to do it like the guys, right? And prove whatever they're trying to prove. And belts are one really bad example of this, because men wear belts. They do not have a vagina and a vaginal opening. They only have one opening, and it has a sphincter on it. Well, actually 2, their penis, but both of them have a sphincter on them. Vaginas do not have a sphincter. And when you jack the abdominal pressure to that extent, yeah, it's bad. It's not a good method to engage those muscles at all. Exacerbating and bracing outward against the belt works for guys. You create stability in the canister. For women, you're kinking the canister and creating extra downward pressure on an open hole.
That's great info. Honestly,
Seriously.
I was talking about it today when we were doing deadlifts. I put on a belt, and
did I miss deadlifts?
you missed deadlifts today.
Today was good. Today was a good workout.
Yeah. So she didn't wear a belt.
I don't wear belts.
Wait, Stacy and I are doing today's workout tomorrow. I forgot, because we're doing partners.
I wore a belt, and my last rep, I was like, this last rep was terrible. But I felt okay with it just because I was pushing out towards the belt, which this is a good time to mention. If you are wearing a belt and you're pushing, like, that's the goal of a belt. The goal of a belt, if you're new to CrossFit or new to anything and you're listening to this, The goal of a belt isn't to wear it all the time, because that's going to be, you're going to end up like falling back on that. If that's what's helping you day in and day out. I remember this guy at Mountainside when I used to work there. He would wear a belt and he would walk on the treadmill at an incline like 20 and just walk for like an hour holding on to the treadmill handles like up at the top or the screen or whatever. And he had this belt on. I'm like, dude, that belt is now as a crutch and it's no longer helping you. So there's very few instances when I do use a belt, and when you do use a belt, the goal is to press out abdominally against the belt. Anyways, that aside, I was going to say, like, so like for somebody who doesn't know anything about pelvic floor stuff in fitness, like even outside of fitness, I guess, what are like a few key things that people can take away from like your profession, like things that you see a lot, or things that, I don't know, just people in general, like you tell them something, they're like, oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, well, one of my favorite thing, and a lot of the content I put out, we do a lot of myth busting. And so I want to talk about without babies and with. And I think when we have issues like prolapse, which is where something's bulging or there's pressure and things aren't organs, whatever, whether it's bladder, uterus, rectal tissue, it's not where it's supposed to be. That's a prolapse. And when there's that issue, or even the leaking pee issue, most of the time when women have had babies or they've had those issues, they feel like they're weak and saggy and their tissues are not strong and they're failing them. And that's rarely the case. We actually work with a lot more clients where the leaking is due to guarding and tension and more tightness. And so a lot of times too, the tightness in the back, the pelvic floor muscles that are underneath the glutes, if those are tight, it kind of shoves everything forward. And then the uterus and bladder don't have the space to expand and sit where they're meant to expand. And constipation is one of the major leading causes to all of that. And so we do a lot of abdominal and digestive work. So you guys apparently talking about vomits, a thing on your show. I can maybe shift it to poop. We'll go the other end. So how well you poop on a regular basis is such a massive indicator of health. Like, it's like, can your body get rid of toxins? Can you absorb nutrients? Can you digest food? And you should have formed but soft poops at least once a day. And that typically is a key factor in dealing with any kind of leaking pee. So even if you've never had kids, a lot of it is more the tension and the pressure and not knowing how to breathe and engage. And athletes, and especially CrossFitters, overdo everything. And so Kegels, I'm most of the time teaching most of our clients reverse Kegels, which is actually how to relax and down train the pelvic floor. And we often use that trampoline example. And it's like, you've got a nice springy trampoline that can give and expand and can contract and lift and support. And if those springs were all kind of tight, you wouldn't be like, oh, you're not functioning right, let's strengthen you. No, we got to restore the mobility of the tissue and then make sure the strength and the breathing are working together.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. That's good.
Awesome. I mean, I feel like it's very much in line with a lot of what we're trying to accomplish with CrossFit. And it's like, it's not just being able to lift heavy or run fast or do cool gymnastic skills, but it's really a lifestyle of like taking, life by the horns, basically mastering your body and having longevity and just being able to enjoy life.
Well, it's also like, to go along with that, it's like in CrossFit, we talk about mechanics, consistency, intensity. Like, you get the mechanics down first. Once you have the foundational mechanics down, then you do it consistently. And then if you can do it consistently, then you add intensity or load. And so Same idea.
This is just like to piggyback off of like the women empowerment vibe that we're going with this episode. But we're the first generation of women who are free to pursue fitness and health because we can, versus any other generation in the history of mankind. And I think that is profound. Like, we are changing we're setting up our family trees 100 years from now to look different. And that struck me so hard on the way home, thinking like, my grandma, my mom, I'm older than my mom when she officially tapped out of fitness. She did what is it? Jazzercise.
My mom did too.
She could, and now she like resigned herself into, I'm older, I'm going to settle into my older years. And it's like, we're the first generation where it's like we're breaking that ceiling of, you actually get to do fitness for your health and for your future, where you're not in shape because the world around you is like super dangerous, or the opportunity is not there to overeat. It's like, no, you have the choice, you have the freedom, and you're pursuing it. And I just think like our family trees are going to look so different being led by women who are like, no, you do this for your health, you look this way for your health and your fitness. And it's just going to be pretty like we're the pioneer women of that.
That's awesome.
I think that's
when I think too, like the use it or lose it is as fundamental a principle as gravity. And it does not care what gender or age you are. Like that, use it or lose it is forever. But one thing to your point too, Alea, that I'm excited about is the rule kind of used to be when you're pregnant, just you're able to do whatever you were doing before. But now the evidence is so overwhelmingly positive for mom and baby that even if they're like, oh, that's a little unsafe, you weren't even doing anything before, the evidence is so overwhelming that the benefits for mom and baby to exercise during pregnancy are far, far, far outweigh any risks. Even if you're like couch to 5K, like it's far outweighs any of the different risks. And so I love being part of educating women about that. And I try to avoid phrases like get your body back. I mean, it's great for marketing because that's what women think they want, but there's no point in having that mindset. We're going forward. You're not the same human you'll ever be. And forward's not bad. Going back is not good. And so, yeah, just trying to focus on capable. You don't necessarily have to look like this or look like this. I want to be capable. I want to know if I had to outrun somebody in a dangerous situation, I have got a shot at it. We don't run that much, but I've got a shot at it.
You just have to be faster than everyone else, right?
Right. And just, I mean, I do genuinely, I'm very, very grateful that out of all the disciplines in my life, wanting and enjoying working out has never been a super big struggle for me. I need it. I like it. I want it. And so, I mean, I build my work schedule around it most days.
That's awesome.
Adam, in that hypothetical situation, is this person chasing multiple people? And why? Why?
Yeah, let's hope, right?
I messed up the saying. You just have to be faster than
the slowest person or the person.
Yeah.
Mobile, agile, hostile.
Yeah.
Can you name the movie?
I can't even. Oh.
I can't. I'm not a movie.
Are you about to age yourself?
No.
Okay, cool.
Say it again.
Agile, hostile. Mobile, agile, hostile.
We're talking about
Fast and the Furious 6.
Major Pain.
Oh my gosh. Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans. All right. Yeah.
Oh, someone got that. Who got that? It might have been Steven.
I'm like, Major Pain. You're the one aging yourself.
I know. Great.
Yeah, Steven.
On a regular basis, talk about how, like, if someone attacks me, it's like, that's going to be their worst day. Like, I might die on the spot, but I'm going to make it so painful and hard for them to bring me down. And they're going to rue the day.
So a couple things. Side note, I loved working with your mom when we used to do one-on-one sessions together. And I still bring up Don in on-ramps. He is an example. I literally, every single on-ramp I do, I'm like, we have people as young as my daughter, and I always point at Lene, and I'm like, and as old as Dawn that were coming in here and we're doing CrossFit. And
I remember Don.
Yeah.
He got-
The CrossFit world remembers Don
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
he
made it on main site twice.
he got spotlighted. But yeah, so it's always funny to me because I always mention him in on ramp every single time, and it's good because that helps people understand. Like I was literally talking to Diana, our on ramp that is on her second session now, and she was saying why do you put down a ball for me to squat to or whatever? She was like asking questions, and I was telling her like the more we use the mobility that we have now is safely and lengthen and contract our muscles to the full extent, we're going to be able to keep that for as long as possible. And that's the goal. The goal is to keep our mobility and our flexibility as long as possible, because if you don't use it, you lose it. And to what you were saying, Amy, same thing. And she was like, oh, okay, cool. And so that's something I think people don't generally think about. People don't come into CrossFit. I was talking about that too with Jen Gowell. People don't generally come into CrossFit and think even this. They don't think I'm coming in here to not be sick. They think I'm coming in here to get fitter. But if the fitter you are on the fitness, wellness, sickness spectrum, the less you are going to be sick. And the less fit you are, the more sick you're going to be. Same idea. They don't come into CrossFit. People don't come in and they're like, oh, I'm squatting all the way below parallel with a neutral spine because that's going to help me age better. They're like, I don't want to squat all the way down because I don't want to feel the pain of that. Yeah. But the thing is the more we do it now, the more we keep it later.
Yeah.
So, for sure.
Yeah.
One of many things that Tom Brady got right was his emphasis on pliability. He's got a whole book on pliability. And to me, that's the perfect balance between strength and mobility. So yeah.
I want to jump in here. We're at 37 minutes, so we should probably jump into some of those fun questions.
But
there was one thing I wanted to address, and I feel like it's something that's come up in this conversation a couple times and in other conversations I've had with other people. But the main thing is is CrossFit safe? And Amy, you had mentioned that when you started doing it, some of your colleagues were like, what are you doing? And then also in the situation of a woman who's pregnant and choosing to do CrossFit, is that safe? And I mean, maybe we all have different opinions, but I feel like if we're doing it right, if we're not overexerting ourselves, if we're making smart decisions in the gym, then, it is safe. But I feel like there's also situations where we talked about this last week a little bit, where sometimes we get inspired by watching amazing athletes on the games, or, if we're doing deadlift and we see, today I saw that Keith did a really good number, 365. And I was like, dang, that would be cool. But I chose not to because I felt like I would hurt myself. And it's we have to make smart decisions. And if we're doing it right, then it is safe. And
I think one of my favorite things about CrossFit, and when people have asked me, as a PT, how can you do that? Or how can you promote that or whatever? But right inherent in the definition of what CrossFit's trying to be about, the highly varied functional movement, infinitely scalable. And I think, to me, one of the most beautiful things about CrossFit, I joke, my little CrossFit spiel, I joke, is every workout makes me feel like I suck at life and I'm a badass Navy SEAL. And I'm not quite sure how that happens, but every workout I'm like, oh, you asshole, you didn't even try it, whatever. And then I'm like, that was fucking badass. And I did a handstand. And so every day I'm like, you suck. And that was amazing. But also, I think too, the thing, you were saying, the people that get cheered for the most in CrossFit are not the athletes at the games. Of course they do, and we look up to them and whatever. It's the people that finish last, because everyone else is rallying around them and supporting them and cheering them on and helping them. And even every single person that's at the games, you were just there, Adam, are elite, but someone's still last. And the entire arena cheering for you, getting some of those last lifts we saw, was just so powerful. And I think that the most important thing for not getting injured is what CrossFit has done for me. Like, you're competing against yourself when you walk through that door. It's only well, I guess all our numbers are kind of, but it's like my numbers that I'm logging regularly, that I'm trying to beat myself. I'm trying to improve my health and fitness. And you have to know yourself, and you have to check your ego at the door. So do people get hurt at CrossFit? For sure. Is it always ego? No, but a lot. Or just not, or we get in autopilot, right? And you just don't check in, you don't tune in. And so that's a huge thing we teach in my practice and with clients, is because awareness is the biggest superpower you could have.
That's a great point for anyone new to our gym or who needs a reminder, who's not new. SugarWOD is not there to see how you rank against everyone else throughout the day. SugarWOD is there to capture a workout for that day, that time, that movement. And then we get that little reminder when it comes up again. So in a couple of weeks, when we see a deadlift workout, we're going to see what we logged from today. And that's the whole point of SugarWOD. It's not to see who you beat. They're not showing us who we beat that day 2 weeks ago. It's showing what you logged. And that's where your notes can be really helpful. Like, how did you feel that day? Did you push it too hard? Did you leave something else in the tank and you could have done 2 extra reps? Write that in the notes. Do that so that you have a log of what you've done. Who cares? Nobody cares where you place on the leaderboard. Our little modest leaderboard doesn't matter.
And it's just not worth risking getting hurt.
There's like a thing that some CrossFit gyms have on their wall that has like the rules of the gym, and one of them's like, nobody cares when you finish, but everybody cares if you cheated.
Yeah, that's so good.
That's very true.
Well, like with my work I do, like sometimes people tease me nicely, but like I'm probably one of the only people in the gym that like I will wear gloves every workout, because I cannot have blood on my hands when I'm working on patients. I can't have nasty calluses. And so I've worn gloves for CrossFit for 10 years. And so, almost. And so, like, I can't be hurt either. Like, that's my entire livelihood. And so I've managed to do CrossFit for all of these years and never have an injury that caused, like, I've had soreness that was like on the brink and I've had to scale back or whatever, back off or whatever. But I'm also relentless when something hurts. Oh, lovely.
Nice.
I'm always red.
I was just showing the gloves. Sorry.
Oh. My red sweaty face and my awesome DV CrossFit tank top.
That's how I caught her, the fact that the gloves were hers that she left out, and she paid 40 burpees for.
Yeah, only 20 because I had done 20 pull-ups.
Oh wow. Okay, I thought you did more. Sorry, member of the month.
That was the number you recommended, so don't even. We're not wasting time.
I love that you use the word recommended.
Hey, my alarm just went off, so we should probably get into a few questions and then finish up here.
All right. We'll do some like rapid fire ones. Where is somewhere you want to go that you've never been?
Australia.
Oh, okay. I want to go to Australia.
Same. Yeah. Let's go together.
All of us. All of these.
DV CrossFit trip.
Down under. What is something that you loved as a child that you can't stand now? For me, it would be pizza.
Hot dogs.
I can't stand pizza now. I'm not a big pizza.
Loved as a child?
Yeah.
Maybe more like curiosity for nature than I have now, like bugs or like.
Oh, that's great, because that leads me right into my next question.
Okay.
Have you ever been stung, stabbed, or bit by an animal or an insect? Like majorly, not like a stabbed. Yeah.
You get shanked by.
Hey man, you never know. Like anything weird, not like mosquitoes or anything like that.
Me and my cousins were playing, and I forget. It wasn't me. We were playing kickball and a ball got kicked into a bush that had a nest in it, and a bunch of us got stung running away from that. So yeah, that happened.
Okay.
Stung by what? I'm sorry.
Wasps. There were bees or wasps. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But there were a lot. All of a sudden, the whole hive came out, and we all it was one of my mom and my aunt, like we threw all of us in the bathtub and they were just like washing us off, trying to get us all like calamine lotion. And
Oh, dang.
Logan and Alea, have you guys ever been stung by a bee or bit by a wasp?
Yes. I've never been bit by a wasp, but I have been stung by one.
I have been stung by a bee.
Yeah. We were motorcycle riding and I took my gloves off before I took my goggles off. And when I reached back to grab my goggles, I think there was a bee on my helmet and I surrounded it and it came out and stung me on the finger. And literally, my mom's fiance started sucking the venom out and spitting it out. And Nay got stung recently. I actually have video of it. I can show you guys later. She got stung by a wasp recently, and I did the same thing because that's all I knew. That was the reaction that my mom's fiance had. So
does it work?
Who knows?
I don't know. I gave her a hickey basically on her arm.
That probably hurt worse.
Yeah.
I've been stung once. I was skateboarding in college and it like got stuck in my neck, like in my collar, and I was like trying to get it out and it stung me. So
Bummer.
No one was there to suck it out or give me a hickey.
No, I would have helped you.
Watch out whether you want it or not.
Like, no, I'm okay, man. I'm okay.
No.
Okay. I'm skipping this one. Do you have any pet peeves?
Oh my gosh. Steven will probably start chiming in. So one of my oldest pet peeves is like, I like to wear socks because we have tile floor. And when an ice cube, somebody drops one, doesn't pick it up, and it leaves a little puddle, and then you get a wet spot on your sock. I really hate that.
Your socks.
Yeah.
My daughters do that.
Yeah, I really hate that.
Wet socks suck.
It can be a little dangerous too. Like if you're not wearing socks and you're just barefoot on tile, it can be a little dangerous.
Yeah.
All right. Top two favorite. It wasn't me. Top two favorite comedies of all time.
Ooh. Man, we do like, so this is terrible, but I really, really like Hitman's Bodyguard.
Oh, okay.
I like almost anything with Ryan Reynolds in it. Oh, The Proposal. That was really, really good. Yeah, I really like Ryan Reynolds.
Okay. So we didn't learn your top two comedies. We just learned that you love Ryan Reynolds. Got it.
Favorite actor.
Check.
Well, I said Proposal and I said
That's
Hitman's
like
Bodyguard.
It's rom-com, right? It's a comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I would go with like Superbad because that's like what I grew up with.
It's not my vibe.
No, but then also I go to the other end of like my second one. This would probably be my first one, which is Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah. Well, and a really funny a movie that I think is really funny that no one's ever heard of is Isn't It Romantic? And it's a rom-com mocking rom-coms. And it's got Fat Amy and Bumper from Pitch Perfect in it. Okay. It's got a ton of really famous people in it, actually. It's really good.
I've never heard of it.
I know. Nobody's ever heard of it. I don't know what happened to it.
Okay. We're going. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
I own it if anybody wants to come over for movie night.
Next movie night is at the Vander Linden. Okay. Should we do this one right here?
That was quick, Adam. Jeez.
What? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm getting better at this whole podcast.
You're like Rogan's behind the scenes guys who's like doing research to like verify like his guest stuff.
We are as good as Rogan.
Yeah,
absolutely the Rogan experience.
Yeah,
we're waiting for everyone to kind of catch on.
They'll get it.
Well, they'll come later. Okay, we're gonna do. This is gonna be like more of a rapid fire. Okay.
Okay.
You have to get rid of one of these forever. All right. Starting first question: In-N-Out, Chick-fil-A, or Chipotle?
Chick-fil-A.
Wow. Okay. Crocs, flip-flops, or Uggs?
Hate them all.
Whoa!
I really hate Crocs.
Yes.
Are you Uggs in the winter type of person though?
I like boots. They don't have to be Uggs.
I almost put in cowboy boots, but I knew you wouldn't pick that.
Oh yeah, no. I have to keep the cowboy boots.
Yeah. Sushi, Mexican, or Thai food?
Sushi. I do not eat sushi. I like tempura and I really like wasabi, but I don't like sushi.
Ooh, wasabi.
That's
Yeah.
her all day.
Dude, I love sushi.
I love sushi too.
We're vegan and we love sushi.
All right. Wall balls, burpees, or death race?
What am I getting rid of?
Yeah.
I can get rid of it forever.
Yeah.
Wall balls.
Wall balls, yeah.
Death race.
Death race, you're getting rid of 2 movements. You're getting rid of the bike and shuttle runs.
No,
So
combination.
Logan, Adam hasn't, but Logan, you have known me long enough to know that there's this slightly twisted side of myself that does need to know if I'm going to puke or not. Yeah, I hated death race way more the second time than the first time.
As you should.
The first time went deceptively well for me, and so I was erroneously looking forward to it the second time, and it went badly. So,
Okay.
but I don't mind doing that periodically.
Yeah. I figured you would say wall balls. I almost put thrusters in there, but I knew that wall balls were something that you kind of.
I really hate them, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Pretty awful.
All right. Frank's Red Hot, Tabasco, or Cholula?
I don't think there's a huge difference between those three. I like Frank's Red Hot, so I don't care if I never have Tabasco.
You should have put sriracha in there.
Oh, I should have, huh?
I like sriracha. I would never get rid of sriracha.
I would never get rid of sriracha. I can't even say it, but I wouldn't get rid of it.
I would get rid of
However you say that word.
Cholula is my favorite.
Oh, Cholula.
All right. Don't let me down here. Star Wars, Harry Potter, or Lord of the Rings. You have to get rid of one of them forever.
You're going to kill me, but considering I've never seen any of them, Lord of the Rings.
I can.
Can I walk away from this? Can I walk away from this?
No.
I knew you were going to die. I knew that's the one you didn't want me to say, but
Wow.
I've never seen them.
The Harry Potter situation.
Have you
right
seen
behind us,
all
so.
of the Star Wars though?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. I've never seen all the Star Wars. So
We've had a lot of time. They've been out since, well,
okay. Yeah, I know.
Since I was a kid. Go ahead and say it. Okay.
Adam. I was okay. Anyways,
that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say they've been out since the early 80s, most of them, or some of them.
bacon or sausage?
That I have to get rid of?
Yeah.
Sausage.
Oh man.
You guys are vegans.
They make both of those in vegan form. And
What's better, vegan bacon or vegan sausage?
Vegan sausage.
Yeah. They make
bacon is bacon. You cannot make fake bacon.
No, there's one that's really good.
And only one.
There's one really good. But
I want to try that.
Yeah, I like the sausage better.
I do. I've tried every vegan thing that's out there.
Were you guys at the Hammer party where we made that big Froning insanity?
The what?
Oh my God. What's it called, babe? Steven, type in the thing. Rich Froning had done this insane.
Oh, I know what that is with the bacon.
Oh my God. With the hamburger meat with sausage inside of jalapenos and then wrapped in this bacon lattice mastery. Yeah. And then oh my gosh, that was crazy.
I remember that. I don't know if we were at that one, but I do remember that video of them making that and grilling it or whatever.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy.
Looks good.
Bacon explosion, there it is.
Yeah, some sort of explosion out of the other end. All right, so we have margaritas, mimosas, or Moscow mules. Which one would you get rid of?
Margaritas. Tequila and I are not friends.
It's an unfriendly thing.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to chime in.
Hey, go.
So I discovered high-end tequila, and it's kind of life-changing. So prior to that, I only had cheap college tequila.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm sure you guys have probably tried high-end tequila. That was the first time for me, and I was like, this is amazing. Prior to that, it was like tequila and regret were always like tied together in my life. But after that, it was fine. So I don't know. I recommend.
I'm a vodka girl if I'm gonna drink.
Yeah.
Tequila.
I'm also a vodka girl if I'm gonna drink.
High-end tequila, you don't mix it.
Yeah.
You just
sip it. Yeah, cold. Very cold.
All right. And then last thing that you have to get rid of forever, Taylor or Trevor. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't answer that. I almost put Steven in there too. Don't answer that. All right. Speaking of family, do your family members have any nicknames for you?
Oh, for me?
Yeah. Or does anybody have any nicknames?
No.
No? Just
So
AIM?
in childhood, like, so Amy, right? Like, how much simpler, more boring can you get than maybe like AIM or Ames, right? But in school, I don't know if you guys, was there AIM toothpaste tube when you were kids?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's
So
still-
that's the weirdest nickname anybody's ever called me, was AIM toothpaste tube. But as far as a nickname, Trevor will jokingly, because he knows it annoys me, it's a family joke from a while ago, but he'll go, "Ma."
Okay. I like that. Yeah.
I will say, I was thinking of toothpaste tubes when you were speaking earlier about wearing a belt and like
Oh.
cranking down on your torso with like an opening down. Like,
Gee.
I was just like, I
That
was
is a
thinking,
good I mean,
Yeah. Just
I mean,
it works.
yeah. So sorry, I wasn't gonna say it, but it came up. So
we're gonna call you toothpaste tube from now on.
Okay.
At the gym. I know we're going long right now. We only have a couple more. Yeah, my mom calls me this. She calls me this to this day. I don't know.
Logie Pinogi.
I don't know where it came from. All right.
by the way, Logan, you're really good at like pointing on the screen. Like I'm still figuring out.
I'm just looking at where I'm pointing and I'm doing it. Yeah.
Uh,
All right. What's your favorite holiday? I think I know this one, but I'm gonna let you answer.
Everyone that's met me for 5 minutes would know the answer to this. It's for sure Christmas.
Yep.
I am a freak about Christmas.
Yep. Do you have a Christmas countdown right now? Like
Yeah. Oh, last week I posted it was 143 days. I think now, yeah,
it's like a certain amount of weekends, right? Like 13 or 12 or something like that.
it's getting low. My Facebook memories will remind me soon.
All right. What is the first job you've ever had?
First job I ever had was working at the Gap for seasonal help.
Ooh, the Gap. I worked at American Eagle for 2 days and then I quit.
2 days.
2 days and I quit. That's
How
the
did-
that's the
His
shortest.
work history is.
Dude, I've worked everywhere.
extensive.
I've worked at Target. You name it, I've worked there.
I know we're out of time, but I want to hear that story sometime.
Next podcast, we'll talk about job
All the
situations.
places.
Yeah.
Logan.
Okay.
All right, last one. What is one of your favorite family memories? It could be with your immediate family now, or like when you were a kid with your parents, or anything like that.
We talk about this kind of often here. So like our Ireland trip was in 2013. That was absolutely amazing. Oh, nice, babe.
Yeah.
I guess technically that's a nickname Steven has for me. Awkward. But yeah, so our Ireland trip in 2013, our Yosemite trip, when Trevor was 9, so 6 years ago. And then we just went to Costa Rica this summer, and that was extraordinary.
Cool.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Childhood would probably be my road trips with my mom. We lived in Maryland, and my aunt, who my mom was super close with, and my cousins we would drive up from Maryland up to Montreal, Canada, and my road trips with my mom up through New England.
Dude,
Cool.
I want to go to Canada someday.
It's
Beautiful.
really beautiful.
Yeah.
Whistler's the best skiing on the planet.
Is that in the Northeast up there?
No, that's west. That's
Oh.
just north of Seattle.
Okay, cool.
On our way to Alaska.
Yep, that's great.
Awesome.
Cool. That's all I got.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. So we'll go ahead and close out here. Amy, thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks for being a loyal member, an awesome member, and someone that's just really fun to be around. And I would say for anyone that's interested, please reach out to Amy if you've got questions about anything related to what she talked about previously. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just something that is a part of life and a natural consequence of giving birth to a child, or just maybe just being
Doesn't have
female.
to be though.
It doesn't have
Doesn't
to be,
have
right.
to be. Get worked
And-
on before you get pregnant.
Right. And just be aware of things that happen and things that you can do about it. So Amy, thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
I know for the gym, we care a lot about making everyone feel comfortable and being respectful and things like that. And so, I feel like it's just stuff like that. I don't want anyone to feel ashamed or like they have to hide it. we'll just deal with it. You know, we want the gym to be clean. We're gonna take precautions, right, to make sure that we're cleaning up and things like that. And I don't think we've had any issues up to this point with anything related to that. But it's not something for anyone to be ashamed of. It's just something we'll deal with. Amy's here to help too, and we'll all just move forward and try to live the best life that we can and be as fit as possible and be good role models for our kids, for our families, and keep moving forward. So, Logan, Alea, do you guys have anything else you want to add before we close out here?
I'm good. We're good. That was awesome.
Thanks so much, you guys. Appreciate it. Yeah,
Thank you,
one of our taglines is no settling, no suffering, no shame. So
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks, Amy.
We need to schedule a game night though, because you guys were both like a barbecue game night because you guys were both out of town when we had one.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true.
Good.
Awesome.
Down.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and look forward to the next one.
Yep.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Yeah.
I used the wrong hand even. This one's easier. I'm like,
Both.
Bye.